good morning. It's just gone 10 a.m. on Monday the 19th of April and I'm off on a little mini cycle tour adventure. I've just ridden from my home in Bath back that way about 4 miles along the Two Tunnels Greenway. I'm on the leg between Midford and Wellow Stables. I'm actually doing something I've been wanting to do for quite a while now. I'm going tramping tonight. Because this is new to me, I'm going to refer to some notes I made so I don't get things wrong. Tramping is run by the Churches Conservation Trust and they manage quite a few historic churches, and some of them you're allowed to stay in overnight, and that's what I've done tonight. I've hired a church, I've got it all to myself. It's high up on a hill. I'll tell you more about where it is later. So I'll just give you an overview of what I plan to do. I'm heading from Bath and I'm doing almost like a figure of 9 route. I'm going to head out over the East Mendips, across the Sunset Levels to hit the coast at Weston-super-Mare. Then I'm going to curl back round over the West Mendips, climb Cheddar Gorge up onto the West Mendip Plateau. Then I'll take a last few miles to the church at Emborough. I'll put a map of the route on the screen now, but in effect, if you imagine a very slim line, figure 9 on its back, I'm heading from Bath that way, curling round at the coast and sort of heading back towards Bath halfway, and then I'll dip down to get to my church, my destination tonight. It's 25 past 6 and I'm 0.2 miles from my destination at church, and that's the first view I've had of it. This is amazing. It feels like arriving at Tincornell bunkhouse in the Welsh mountains. You don't see it until you literally turn around the final corner. This is it, my destination. The Blessed St Mary the Virgin Church at Emborough. There's a sharp right hand bend here, and I think there's a gate just round the corner. Wow, beautiful evening. I'm so looking forward to getting in there. Right, let's go and have a look. A gorgeous spot, a gorgeous evening as well. Well, this is new for me, staying in a church overnight. I've bivvied when I've been Audax in a few porches before. Having the whole church to myself is fantastic. I've just opened the door, so this is my first view. Oh, some COVID precautions, disinfectants, that's good. Camp beds over there. Oh gosh, look, there's a water bottle. I dragged all that water over the Mendips for no need. That's really reassuring. It means I can use as much as I need now without having to sort of ration it. Oh, cups as well. I knew there were camp beds. The one's already out. There's another one by the look of it, a camping chair. I've bought my Exped Sinmat sleeping mat, and I've bought my winter sleeping bag. I have been told it's quite cold in these churches, and we're actually 700 feet high up here as well. So probably overdone the sleeping arrangements. Oh, this is fantastic. What a place. Gosh, just need to go investigate where all the lights are. I'll need that after dark. Then I'll bring my bike in, I think. Oh, tea and coffee making. I've even bought tea and coffee making equipment. Oh look, there's a kettle there as well. Gosh. Oh, that's a shame. No entry up to the tower, but I can understand why. And what's in here? Oh gosh, the inboard. That looks like it's got something substantial in. Let's have a look. Oh, padlocks, no. That's none of my business by the look of it. Right, first things first, sort the lights out. It's just gone 7 PM now. I've just checked in with headquarters. Well, I've just rung my missus up to let her know I got here okay, having a bit of a chat. It's been a lovely day. The ride coming in was absolutely fantastic because when I crossed over the Mendips, instead of heading towards Bath, I was heading here. And so I just followed the Garmin and it took me on lots of different roads that I wouldn't normally take because I'm probably sort of wanted to get home to Bath a bit more directly at that stage, and it just felt like an adventure, especially as the Garmin was counting down, you know, less than 10 miles, 9.8, 9.7, round about 3 miles to go. I just suddenly thought, I don't know where I am, and this is an area, you know, not far from home, I know quite well. Had that real end of the day adventure feel to it, and as I said as I approached, I know this church. I mean, I've ridden by it so many times, but because I was actually heading for it and I was looking at the Garmin, I thought, gosh, I just cannot see it. And it was 0.2 miles, literally a few hundred yards. But I just came around a slight bend in the road and it suddenly revealed itself. So just a little bit about champing, and this is my first occasion. I first became aware of it when one of my YouTube friends, Tom Outdoors, I watch a lot of his videos, he's a camper and he also likes history, the same as me. He made a video about it, and so I checked it out and I thought, that's interesting, probably not for me. The prices were a bit more than I really wanted to pay. And then with the youth hostels becoming so relatively expensive for one person, it then suddenly, the last few months seemed to be a lot more cost effective. And I think that the turning point was on one of my winter rides when I was just going around doing night navigation. I stopped outside one of my favourite churches down in the Cam Valley at Dunkerton. I just thought, wouldn't it be amazing to be in there now? And it was just that moment I think I'm going to do some champing. And because I wasn't sure what to expect, this is actually quite close to home. I'm only about 10, 12 miles from home, although the route today has taken me 75 miles to get here. And the reason I chose 75 miles was that's going to be the longest day on my Fossway tour in June. And I just wanted to try the bike out with the panniers and roughly what I'm going to take on that trip as well. So, and I just wanted to sort of roughly work out how long will it take me. I'm a bit out of practice with lockdown, to be honest. And the other thing I wanted to test out was I made a video recently about MRE meals that I bought. Now, stands for meals ready to eat. They're army surplus meals. I've just got a very cheap Chinese copy of a Chanjia stove, meth stove, and a little mount to put it in. Cost me less than a tenner, I think, on eBay. And a billy can. And I'm just going to boil some water outside later on and do one of the meals. And that's exactly what I intend to do when I bivvy on the Fossway ride. So again, I'm sort of like testing the kit out just to see whether it works or not really. Getting back to champing though, one of Tom's mates, Andy, he's called Kent Survival, I watch a lot of his videos. He went to a church and champed, and again I thought probably a little bit more than I wanted to pay, but interesting though. And then he actually came here as well about a year ago. I think he was on the way from Kent down to Dartmoor to see some mates, and he just broke his journey by stopping here. So I think that possibly had an influence as well. I have ridden by here so many times and wanted to come in, and it's actually unlocked during the day. I only realised that when I actually made my booking, because I won't go into details, but when you book, you then get a confirmation email and there's a PDF file attached. It gives you all the information you need about how to gain access and everything. What wasn't clear, and maybe it's my fault, and maybe I just didn't bother reading it thoroughly enough, I didn't know if there was going to be water here, so it's really nice to see that water dispenser there. There's spare bottles near the door as well. That's the camp bed that's already laid out. Looks like there's another one there. This is the kit I brought with me, so I'll go through it. I've got my X-Bed Sin Mat sleeping mat. I've got the schnozzle pump bag to inflate it. I sometimes use that, I sometimes don't. It depends what mood I'm in and how much space I've got in my panniers. My Softy 10 Harrier, that's comfortable down to about -3, I think. It's a winter sleeping bag. It's quite bulky. I will not be taking that on the phosphate, that's for sure. But I bought it here because I think it may be cold here tonight. I've also got a cotton inner liner, a mummy cotton liner made by Eurohoke. And I've also got my Exped inflatable pillow. So I'll get that all set up and show you what it's like on the camp bed. That's my bed made up. I've actually moved the camp bed over towards that wooden seat there. It reduces the risk of me falling out with that by 50%, I would say. I bought the schnozzle pump bag today. Sometimes I think it's more trouble than it's worth, and today it took me 3 inflations to get this up. When I practice it at home, I can normally do it in 1 inflation. Out in the field it tends to be 2. Today it was about 3, so I'm well out of practice. What I like about the Exped sleep mat and the Exped pillow, well, first of all, it's ergonomically shaped, so it's got a curve in to make it more comfortable for your head, but it's also got these eyelets where you can put elastics through and then attach it underneath the sleep mat. Especially for somebody like me who's a side sleeper, I toss and turn a lot, it just stops it slipping out of place. There's my good trusted winter sleeping bag with a cotton mummy liner. I'll get inside that before I actually get in the sleeping bag. I find it easier. So that's my bed made up for the night. Now I'm going to think about doing some cooking shortly. Cooking is not allowed inside the church, and I can understand why. But I'll go through the kit I'm going to be carrying on the Fossway ride, and what I've brought out tonight, I'll go through it in here because it'll probably be less wind noise, and then I'll go out. All fixed in this billy can, came with its own bag, elastic bands to stop everything rattling, low tech but very effective. Bit of padding, some J-cloths, collapsible cup, although there are cups here. I actually made up some coffee sachets at home, already got the sweetener in there, but again there's coffee and tea here, but again I want to try that for my Fossway ride. A couple of lighters just in case one fails, another J-cloth just to wipe things down afterwards, and also to pad it and stop it rattling about. This is what I bought off eBay. It's a Chinese copy of a Trangia. And I think it's got one advantage over a Trangia, well 2 if you like shiny stuff. It's a complete copy of the Trangia stove. What I like about this is, well I'll show you when I just open it. That's the burner in there with the meths. It's got a screw top so you can travel with meths in there, you don't have to empty it out every time. That's full with meths at the moment, so I won't open that until I start cooking. This is the simmer ring, and also that's how you dose it. That won't be on there because that's got a rubber seal on. When you actually want to switch it off, literally extinguish it, you just put that on. What I found in the past when it really has been flaming up, you sort of try and drop it on, and most times it will work, but sometimes it will just slightly miss, and then you have to just try and get a knife or a spoon or something, manipulate it. The great thing about that, look, it's got a handle. You're just going to be able to dose it like that. That also acts as a simmer ring as well, so when you've got your water boiling, you can just reduce the size of the flame that way. And it came with this as well, just a very lightweight alloy mount. So the cooker's going to go in there, the billy can on there. So let's go out and get this all fired up outside. Sometimes difficult to see if it's taken, but it is. After about 4 or 5 minutes, you'll not just get the central flame, all the little pinholes will start to flare up. Let's get the water on anyway. can see the flames all flowered up now after about 5-6 minutes. Every now and again the wind catches it as well. You really hear a roar. Here's the MREs I've bought. I've got a long spoon as well to scoop it all out. Lamb Rogan Josh, 300 grams. There's a Wayfarer meal there, 200 grams for millets. So you can sort of see the army surplus ones are 100 grams more. Everybody says they're a lot more filling. That sounds like a curry. Hopefully that's going to satisfy me as well as my pudding. I've also got chicken, sausage and beans. I'm sort of going to use that for breakfast tomorrow. If that's not filling enough, I'll have that tonight, but I'm pretty sure it will be. And I've got 2 Peroni beers as well. That took ages to heat the water up in that billy can. I borrowed the bag of lamb Rogan Josh, I think that may be a curry, for 8 minutes. I've just let it stand for 2 minutes. I'm now going to open it and eat it. I'm just about to tuck into it. I've opened it up after letting it stand for 2 minutes. I've given it a really good stir. It smells absolutely amazing. Looks a bit liquidy to be honest, although I can see some chunks of potato in it. Now it's time to eat my chocolate pudding. You can see it's steaming quite well. Again, boiled it for 8 minutes, left it for 2 minutes to stand, opened the perforations, got my long spoon. If I'm honest, I could have cooked a better curry if I bought all the ingredients, that's for sure. But it's all about convenience. There's no way I could cook a chocolate pudding when I'm camping, so I'm really going to enjoy this. It's 9:05. Sat outside, had my meal and the pudding, really nice. I'm going to sit out there actually, it's quite warm, sheltered from any wind, and just drink my second beer. I was reading through the PDF notes, so there's no electricity here. What they do is they give you these candles, they look authentic, but they're actually plastic, they're battery operated, they appear to be flickering. So that's quite nice, looking over towards, I imagine that's the west, there's still a bit of sunset there. If I put my head torch on, you'll see it's right below my camp bed. The church is actually lighter than the cameras suggesting. Again, I've put my head torch on, you'll see my bike there, candles near the entrance. It's not spooky in here at all. It's just such a lovely building. Actually I'm really enjoying sitting outside with my second beer. It's quite a mild night. It's 700 feet in elevation here, so you may be wondering how much it costs. So weeknights it's £49 a night, so it's quite expensive compared to camping. I would say it's around about the same price as travel lodges, and also youth hostels at the moment, you've got to pay round about that sort of price, and all you're getting really is the room. You can't really use any of the other facilities like the lounge or the members kitchen. I guess you can probably use the drying room and the bike shed, but so if you put it in that sort of context coming out of lockdown. And the other thing was, it sort of was a little treat I promised myself at the beginning of the 3rd lockdown in January, thinking I'll do this. I'm not sure when, but I'll do it soon after lockdown finishes. As well as giving me something to really look forward to during lockdown, I also feel the price, I can justify it by feeling I'm giving something back, because the church's conservation trust, it's a charity, and their aim is to keep these churches for future generations. So I feel I'm giving something back, because to be honest, I've bunked in quite a few church porches over the years, doing all axes and adventuring and bivvying, and I've had a few freebies over the years. It just feels like, to me, it feels good to give something back. It's a win-win because I'm getting this amazing experience as well. So yeah, just a personal opinion, but as far as I'm concerned, it's win-win. They also supply this wind-up battery lantern. There's a handle on the side. You just have to give it a few turns every few minutes. Bet I could spook some of the passers-by if I was to get a cloak and start walking around holding this.